Good evening, I'm Byron Scott with a CTV News Update. A big day for police and family in Montgomery County more than a half century after the shooting death of a deputy sheriff. An arrest is made. Montgomery County Special Detective Sheriff Captain James Hall was shot at the Manor Country Club on Carrollton Road in Rockville on October 23, 1971. Witnesses who entered the club reported seeing a man with trauma to his head lying face down in a parking lot. Investigators discovered that Hall had been shot in the head.
He succumbed to his injuries on October 26th, 3 days later. Investigators believe that Captain Hall interrupted a residential burglary in progress, and for 51 years, his murder had gone unsolved.
Last October, on the 50th anniversary of the killing, detectives reviewed the evidence.
Through the course of their investigation, Leggett and Killen narrowed in on one person, Larry David Becker.
Becker, who also goes by the name Larry Smith, was interviewed by police in 1973, but he was not considered a suspect. The review of evidence led detectives to New York State.
Leggett and Killen traveled to New York, and on September 1st of this year, they interviewed Smith. During that interview, Smith admitted to shooting Captain Hall. Larry David Smith was arrested and has been charged with murder.
Hall's family has waited many years for this moment.
My family, please come up. They have been so strong with me and my brother. We're so happy. I just want to thank the cold case unit. My heart goes out to them. I want to thank the Sheriff's Department, the Police Department. We love you. We will never forget you. I just knew somebody was out there.
Becker is waiting extradition to Maryland. Off-road vehicles are a growing problem in the county. Now Prince George's council members want to crack down on the illegal use of ATVs. During a committee meeting yesterday, council discussed measures that would increase fines from $250 to $500 for the first violation. Subsequent penalties will go up $1,000, the highest in the state. They also propose impounding abandoned or unregistered vehicles if they're used in a crime.
Well, you even get to impoundment and these accelerated fines if historically we don't catch them at all, and therefore it's rare indeed to catch someone 2 or 3 times. So that's what I'm curious about. What do we know about how often this actually is going to be used?
They have caught over 300 ATV individuals by air. This is just another tool in the toolbox that gives them the ability to do a different set of things they can do once they catch them.
The council committee voted unanimously for initial approval of the legislation. Well, Prince George's County ousts the WSSC water commissioner amid questions about the agency's billing system. The council removed County Representative Keith Bell after he led the board's questioning about soaring utility costs, which have gone from $40 to $120 million. The move comes after county leaders say they lost confidence in his ability to lead and communicate. In a 9-1 vote, council members supported County Executive Angela Alsop-Brooks' call to remove Bell after officials say he improperly meddled in personnel matters in the utility's daily operations. Bell had questioned why WSSC leaders had procured a new billing system without seeking competitive bids and how they have managed soaring costs since. Well, a Laurel teen faces serious jail time for his alleged involvement in an armed carjacking this morning. The suspect is a 16-year-old male. Police were called to a convenience store on the 13,300 block of Baltimore Avenue early this morning. When police arrived, they discovered that the victim had been carjacked at gunpoint by 2 attackers. Laurel and Prince George's police spotted the teen suspect driving the stolen car and arrested him. He faces armed carjacking, first-degree assault, and firearm charges. Well, here are the latest COVID-19 numbers for our area. The Maryland Department of Health has confirmed 1,192 new cases. The county's positivity rate is at 11.50%. 20 Marylanders have died over the past 24 hours, and 547 people are hospitalized. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Byron Scott. Stay tuned. Back in just a bit.
Worried your friend's struggling but don't know how to reach out?
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could write them a text or knit them a sweater. If you can't be together, you could write them a letter. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking. You could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You could ask on your couch while you binge watch. However you do it, you gotta ask a friend. And if they don't share, you can ask again. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Well, he's been out of office for nearly 6 years, but former President Barack Obama back at the White House today for a special occasion. He and Michelle Obama were there for the unveiling of their presidential and First Lady portraits. Current President Joe Biden, who served under Obama, had high praise for the former leader. Biden said as President Obama gave America hope, purpose, and integrity.
With Barack as our president, we got up every day and went to work full of hope, for real, full of purpose, and excited about the possibility before us. There are few people I've ever known with more integrity, decency, and moral courage than Barack Obama.
You've built on and gone beyond the work we all did together to expand health care, to fight climate change, to advance social justice, and to promote economic fairness.
The portraits were unveiled this afternoon. Well, a new federal study shows that the pandemic has greatly impacted reading and math among some of America's youngest students. The findings from the National Center for Education Assistance indicate that test scores in reading and math for American 9-year-olds dropped drastically. The results come from assessments taken in 2020, just before the pandemic, and in early 2022. According to the study, reading scores had the largest decline in 30 years. Also, the average math score fell 7 percentage points from 2020 to 2022, while reading fell 5 points. Well, a Baltimore police officer is held without bond after he's accused of sexually assaulting 2 additional victims. James Weems Jr. now accused of sexually abusing 4 children at his wife's daycare in Owings Mills. He's facing 21 counts connected with the first 2 victims, who were 10 and 12 years old at the time. Charges are pending for the 2 recently identified children. Weems was shot in July, his wife telling police she did it because she believed he molested children at her daycare center. His wife faces charges in connection with that shooting. Well, police have released the ID of the person killed in a 2-vehicle accident in Upper Marlboro on Sunday. Investigators say 27-year-old Treon Claremont of Silver Spring was killed on the 3400 block of Brown Station Road when another driver crossed the double yellow line and crashed into him. It happened just after 3 a.m. The other driver and passenger in the car suffered serious injuries. Well, we now know the name of the bicyclist who died following a crash in Fort Washington last week. He is Khalib Yenu. According to police, officers were called to the Indian Head Highway near Fort Washington Road for a report of a crash last Thursday. The victim was taken to the hospital and died 3 days later. Investigators say that Yenu and a driver were both heading northbound at the time of the crash. And still to come, we check on your pet of the week. Stay with us.
Even though we didn't grow up together, he's my favorite brother.
Hey, sis.
I'm the baby of the family, and he's the gentle giant.
What you know about Port Georgia?
Man, please, that's a classic.
You know when they say people are a rare breed? Yeah, he's that.
I'm sorry, I'll be back in a few hours.
Don't worry, Shug, you know I'm for you.
I know.
Go get the football.
That was my favorite memory. He was always for ya. This is a true story of me, Bridget Floyd, and this guy, George Perry Floyd Jr., my big brother.
A furry little feline is looking for her forever home. Meet Beauty. She's an 8-month-old black domestic short-haired kitten. Animal management says she has a lot of energy.
She would do well in any household, especially with children. She would love to play and run around. She would definitely benefit from a larger area to run around and just be able to be a kitten.
Anyone interested in adopting Beauty can contact Animal Management at 301-780-7201. Well, WNBA legend Sue Bird officially retired yesterday following a tough loss to the Las Vegas Aces in Game 4 of the WNBA playoffs. Bird, who spent her entire 19-year career with the Seattle Storm, stayed on the court after the game as fans began chanting her name. In a post-game media briefing, she spoke about the fan experience and her accomplishments in pro basketball.
I also wanted to kind of have one last moment to say thank you, to soak it all in. Because in some ways it is a happy thing. I'm proud of everything we've accomplished here. And of course I'm sad, but there's happiness too, to be able to have a moment like that with the fans, to have them chant the way they did. I know the tears don't look like happy tears, but there's a lot of happiness.
And Bird concludes her career with an impressive resume. She's a 13-time All-Star, 4-time WNBA champion, and a 4-time Olympic gold medalist. Well, the University of Maryland football squad opened up their season with a win against the University of Buffalo. Speaking to reporters yesterday, head coach Michael Locksley says his squad remains focused on preparing for their next opponent. He says because of the quick turnaround of the games and that difficulty that comes with playing away from home, his team must remain focused.
As with all Mondays, we put that game behind us pretty quickly because of the short turnaround to prepare for our next opponent. The tough thing about this week for us is our first road game together as the 22 football family, and as we all know, it's always tough to win on the road. Our team is looking forward to the preparation that takes place Monday through Friday to give us a chance on Saturday. And for us, how we prepare doesn't change based on the opponent each week. It's what we do. It's the DNA of what we feel we need to do to put out a team on Saturday that's going to have a chance to be successful.
And the Terps face off against the University of Charlotte this Saturday at 3:30. Let's get a quick look now at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 65. Thursday, partly sunny with a high near 80. Friday, sunny with a high near 81. And Saturday, mostly sunny with a high near 82. And that's our news for tonight. I'm Byron Scott. See you tomorrow night. Good night.